If you're applying to Melbourne High, McRob, Nossal or Suzanne Corey this year, we now know that the exam is going to be on June the 14th. And so I've been getting a lot of questions around exam day. What can you bring? How does it work? What does it feel like to be there on exam day? And so I'm going to answer all those common questions in this short video now. So first one is, what can you actually bring to the exam? Now you can't bring calculators, you can't bring an electronic watch, you can just bring a pen. And essentially, I would recommend bringing some sort of watch that's not electronic so you can check the time. Because if you think about it, this exam is pretty time pressured. For a lot of the sections, you've got 20, 30 minutes, you've got to answer a lot of questions. You want to know how much time you have and be able to manage your time throughout the exam. Sometimes there'll be a clock in view that's really easy to see, but I do know some students who've turned up without a watch. They found it really hard to see the time, and that's going to give you a bit of a disadvantage really. And so I recommend bring a pen, bring a watch. Outside of that, you probably want to bring some water and maybe a little snack because there is a break. Otherwise, that's really all you need to bring. One other important thing though, is you do need to bring some form of ID. And so if you have a passport, perfect, you can bring that. If you don't have a passport, and you don't have any forms of ID, then you will want to go down to Australia Post. You can get a form of ID from Australia Post. I think it's called a key pass, which essentially is a really good way of just getting it sorted really early on. Because often what happens is right before the exam, people start stressing they don't have an ID, a passport will take too long to come. They're a little bit unsure about what the options are. So it's best just to get that sorted now so you don't have to worry about that in the lead up to the exam. Final thing is, what does exam day actually look like? So you're going to be in a big hall, most likely with a lot of other students. When I sat the exam, there was thousands of other people in the room. And so ideally you can have some practice with that sort of environment before the exam. In our programs, we do a couple of these in-person mock exams with a lot of people just to get used to it. And the main thing you want to get used to is the pressure of having everyone there, probably getting used to using a watch to manage your time, but also the timing of the exam. The exam's 3 hours, writing's at the end. You can imagine, is people's writing of a high caliber when they've already been doing 2.5 hours of the exam? It's a lot lower than normal. And there's certain breaks at different times, and so you want to get used to that as well. Now you can see the specific timings for the exam on ACE's website, so I'd recommend checking that out. But otherwise, the best thing you can do between now and the exam to prepare is start to gradually learn all the different question types that appear on the exam. So when you walk into that exam hall, you're confident, you know what most likely is going to come up on the exam, and you're ready to succeed.